court application to allow humanitarian aid to reach illegal miners in Stilfontein has been postponed to Thursday. The matter was brought by the Society for the Protection of Our Constitution. Nqobile Madlala attended the court proceedings today, and she joins me in studio right now to reflect on what we heard from court today. Nqobile, good afternoon to you. Let's start with what is at the heart of this case. What is this organization, Society for the Protection of Our Constitution, arguing exactly in court?
Well, Xoli, they're looking at the rights. What rights do you have as an individual? And they're saying this is an urgent matter. They're, of course, looking at the numbers that have been estimated that there are thousands of people that are underground. They're saying those people actually need some assistance. They need emergency services, they need food, they need blankets, and those things need to be able to reach them. But they do argue that the police are actually not allowing them to get underground, which is a whole different argument altogether. But they're saying people have a right to health, that they have a right to security. And of course, if you look at that community that's speaking there, that is going through all of this in Stilfontein, that they speak about poverty. They speak about the fact that they're unemployed. They speak about the fact that it's hard to get employment, that this has become sort of a source of income. So this organization is saying that, yes, we understand they've done wrong, but we are saying, let's put their lives first.
Okay, all right. So at the heart of this case is the right to life, the sanctity, and this is guaranteed, by the way, in our Constitution. The Bill of Rights says everyone has a right to life. That's fine. Put that aside for a moment. Was there a counter argument that says when you provide the kind of resources that the miners underground are asking for, food, water, is there no risk that they are going to remain underground? We saw yesterday the demand, or perhaps let's put it gently, the request for ARVs to be sent underground. Are these people the type that are prepared to come up once they have gotten the food and water? Because it's clear, as the organization admits, this is illegal what they are doing. And so what is being sent down is in an effort to give those that are underground the strength to come up possibly on their own.
Well, Xoli, they didn't get to the nitty-gritties. This is mainly because the state came in with an affidavit and they started speaking, and that's the counter-argument really from their side, that they're saying that they actually have allowed for those things to go down, but they haven't allowed for the blankets to actually go inside. They haven't allowed also for the explosives to go inside.
Why would explosives be needed?
Well, explosives are what was used to actually break open that mine, because we understand that it was already closed by the owner. So they're saying that they're not allowing all of that to go down there. So they are allowing the water and the food to go down. But they're also saying there is actually a mine shaft where they can get out. But they're saying everybody that's sitting there is evading arrest. They're saying they're worried that once they come out, they will be arrested. So people are deciding to sit in, and they're not coming out because they're evading arrest. So in a way, if you look at it, they're saying that these illegal miners are basically saying we're not coming out because if we come out, we're going to be arrested. In fact, Atlenda brought out a letter, which she says, and it's like a small letter, which came apparently when they put a rope down, and the rope came out with this letter, and the letter was basically saying they're asking for food down there. So she's saying it doesn't look like they have their best interest of coming out, and the operation in itself is trying to curb or combat illegal mining. So where then should the police actually make sure that the law takes its course, which is why they're saying that they will stand guard. And you've seen as well from Refilwe that they are there, they will remain there, and they're saying they'll remain they'll stand guard in that area to ensure that they continue with their work, but they cannot be expected to move the police and the military down there, because they're saying that when it was that area was exploded or explosives were used to break it open, there are gases. DMR says to them there are gases that could potentially hurt them in a certain way, so they're not going to send people in there.
All right, let's take a listen for a moment to a soundbite from the spokesperson of the police who talks to exactly the matter you've just pointed out. Let's take a listen to Brigadier Athlenda Mata for a moment.
What we are bringing to the table is that firstly, these illegal miners are not trapped. They simply refuse to resurface because they are avoiding arrest. Secondly, what we've put on the table is that an alternative shaft was made open where more than 500 illegal miners have been able to exit underground. And we are of the view that these illegal miners are refusing to exit on that particular shaft because they are avoiding arrest. It is possible for them to exit through Margaret because we have seen in the past 2 weeks more than 500 exiting. We have proof to that effect actually on Saturday, if you can see here. We have proof that they are not trapped, because if they were trapped, they would have indicated. This is a note that was coming from underground. And if I can read it, it says, "Sicela ukudla lapha emgodini, food please." If these illegal miners were trapped, they would have indicated in this particular note that they brought up.
Very clear and very self-explanatory, that note. And so the risk here is that the more essentials you take down, the more likely that these people are going to remain down there and therefore evade arrest, according to the police. Why should we not believe this as lay South Africans, that clearly these are people who are not trapped, as we, the media, have been saying in the past week, that these people are trapped, we're told they're weak, they don't have strength, and so they can't come up, they need assistance. Now, there are all kinds of demands. The risk here is that these people may simply stay there for as long as they can. Is this organization alive to that?
Well, Xoli, their argument is mainly based on what the community has spoken about. They talk about the fact that the community maintains that they are trapped down there. And so if they are trapped, they need to be rescued. And this is where the government must come in, and they must allow for those rescue efforts to take place. And they say that surely you can't put the interest or other people's interest before the people that are supposed to be served by the Constitution. So they're saying at this point, they are told that these people are trapped. They are told also at the same time that some of them don't feel so well down there. So it's very important that they be taken out. But let's listen to the conversation that we had with the representative from this organization.
Now, we must also be alive to the fact as to what government told us prior to all of these court applications starting. They said, these are criminals underground, we will not give them assistance. So to come down, make an about turn now and say, but we are giving them food, this is not what was the attitude of government. And they must take responsibility for what they've said and what they've done. The fact is, we are sitting with another situation that is even worse than Marikana. It is no good for us to be commemorating Marikana at a certain point every year, when we are allowing for a situation where a significant number of lives are going to be lost while we are watching. We are watching a mass killing of people while we are watching it on TV. It's unacceptable, especially in a democracy like ours.
There's even the invoking of the Marikana massacre. And it just tells you how complicated this story is. And it's one we are going to have to continue watching very closely because lives could be at risk, because these are people who clearly are prepared to risk their own lives at the same time. Okay, Nqobile Madlala, thank you very much for that update.